So we should be almost up and running. If you're watching a recording, do fast forward a few minutes. Let's see, 3 minutes to be exact. And don't know why, but I'm still adjusting cameras today. So you can see we've been working on lighting all weekend. I think our lighting is going to be a little better today. Woohoo! I'm not so dark. Or shall I say I'm not so tan. What do you think, honey? Are we up and running yet? Okay, so Twitch looks like it is connected, and everything else is starting to go. Okay, don't know what happened there, but all right. Hello. On QTalk. Oh, empty user up on QTalk. I don't know who empty user is, but okay. Somebody on Facebook. All right, so we are just about ready to get started here. Hi all, in about another minute. Andy is, of course, adding links as we speak, as you can see there, if you are on Twitch. And what else? Let's see, he's working on Facebook right now. And I'm just adjusting things. Okay, then don't bother. So we're gonna start here in just another minute. I am finishing up the last minute stuff I've got going on here. So it's sort of funny because this last night, right before going to bed, it occurred to me that I forgot to put together what the heck I'm doing today. So, woke up this morning, started writing up instructions to figure out what the heck I'm doing today, and went, I don't know what I'm doing today. I think I need to go down and double check and make sure I'm doing this right. So, I actually made like 3 more rings this morning just to make sure I actually know what the heck I'm doing. I know. It's just sort of, it's my life in a nutshell, right? But that said, I hope you all had a great holiday. Thanks for the Merry Christmases and Happy Holidays out there. Really appreciate it. Let's see, someone is showing no sound. How are we doing on sound, babe? Sound find here by somebody else. Make your speakers. Okay, so it looks like sound is okay out there. And oh, totally forgot to do something. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Totally forgot. Okay, hi everyone, it's Monday, it's Q Talk Live, it's week 41. Happy holidays. We are in the week in between. You know, for me, this is like always, no matter what it is, I don't care if it's a pandemic, I don't care whatever it is. This is always like the weirdest week of the year for me. You know, am I on holiday? Am I working? What am I doing? I don't know. But, so, yeah, we'll see what I'm doing. Hard to get my head into the game. Like I said, yesterday was Sunday, and I'm thinking, I have another day, right? Maybe it was wishful thinking that I wanted another day, but it is what it is. So worked all day yesterday on Twitch. I say worked, played all day yesterday on Twitch, and I'm excited. We have projects for February, which brings me to, hey, I want to talk about what's coming up. I want to take a few minutes to talk about what's coming up. So February, just to let you guys know, I'm already bored with this hot and cold thing. I know, 3 projects in, we're gonna finish it off with about 4 projects, I think. We're gonna go ahead and move on to enameling in February. So I'm excited. I already have projects done for February. Woohoo! Trying to stay ahead of everything. Then I'm gonna start working on Zoom projects for February. We'll see where we go with that and get that moving along. So get ready for enameling, and if you're looking for enameling supplies, of course we have it on the urbanbeater.com site. Another exciting thing that's going on is today, officially, we have made 75 projects on virtual. 75. If my count is correct, I'm actually past 75, but I'm going to go with the 75 number, because the other thing too that is just sort of funny is I don't know if we count these hot and cold as 1 or 2. I was counting them as 1. So if I'm counting them as 2, I'm actually past 75. And since it came up so fast, I didn't even prepare for it. I'm like, okay, so it's just gonna be mentioned and we're gonna move on, and we'll plan something great for number 100, because as far as I'm concerned, it's like right around the corner. I'm feeling like 100 is gonna happen in February. So we'll prepare for that. You know, things are just busy. Things are just really, really busy right now. So at least in my brain anyway. I know everybody talks about how they're hanging out doing nothing and they're bored. I'm just doing a lot of different things. So all of that. What else is coming up? So what else is coming up is Metal Immersion. Metalimmersion.com is coming up in January, right? Yes, January is next week. So it's coming up in less than 3 weeks. Crazy, crazy. So I wanted to talk about it for just a quick minute. And Metal Immersion, if you're not familiar with, we're like on our 13th or 14th year of doing this. And I know that there's a couple people on here who have actually attended the very first Metal Immersion, which is so exciting and so crazy how this all started. But basically, this all started on a lark. Somebody mentioned that, you know what, we really need to do something here because there's nobody out here doing it. And this all started back in Pennsylvania, and the next thing you know, it became an annual thing, and we grew from someone's home studio, and then I decided to go a little bit more formal, but then that all sort of went to pot, and we went into some store in their basement, and then finally went to a hotel. But here we are. It's the pandemic, so what are we going to do? We're going to have to go virtual with it. So this year, for the first time, Metal Immersion is going virtual. And I know there's many of you out there who've not had the opportunity to attend Metal Immersion and have mentioned that, oh, how great would it be to attend Metal Immersion? Well, this year you can, because we're going virtual, and you can get a little taste of what we do every year. And frankly, it has become quite the community of people who attend Metal Immersion. And I like to say, and I know you're watching out there, I like to say Metal Immersion is a bunch of girls and Ken who get together. Because Ken is this person who shows up with his wife, and it's been really cool for the last 3 years to have all the girls and Ken. Yes, I'm giving you a shout out, Ken. And I know he's listening. He might be in the room, so say hello. Anyway, so it's a gathering over the weekend, and there's usually about 35 of us. And every year, it's a 3-day event, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This year is supposed to be a 4-day event, but we're going to go back to 3 days because it's virtual. And on Friday, we usually do basically, a lot of studio time, which we will do during this weekend too, but we'll do it virtual so we can have a community. And then on Friday night, we're going to do the social as we always have. The difference, of course, this year is we're not going to do a project that we typically do for charity, but this year we're going to do a cooking class, okay? So if you've ever wanted to learn how to make Vietnamese pho, which is a soup, we're going to do the chicken pho this year, and I'm going to teach it out of our kitchen here. I know. You thought I only did jewelry. But you know what's sort of ironic about that is I've actually taught cooking classes a billion years ago. I know, totally crazy. I have forgotten about how I used to do that. And all this just sort of brings all these memories back, and it's really fun, it's really cool. So for everybody who wants to participate, whether or not you want to do the class, the cooking class, you can still join us for the community and just hang out and watch. And if you want to do the soup and make the soup, we are offering kits for that so that you can get started, because most of you don't have all of the spices and herbs that you need. Now, what doesn't come with the kit is going to be the chicken. You'll have to go get it yourself. And some of the fresh produce that comes with it. But all the dry ingredients, I'm kitting it together just to make it really easy for everyone. I'm making the run to the Asian market tomorrow, so you guys don't have to. So hopefully you'll join us. That's metalimmersion.com. Sully Girardi is joining me that weekend, and she'll be teaching, I think, 3 metal clay classes, and so will Sarah Thompson. I think Sarah has 4 or 5 of her weaving classes. So again, I'm just really thrilled to be able to have them come along and do it with us that weekend. So just to brag a little bit, this is Sully's, this is the duet class, which is Sully and I, for the first time, we're doing a combo class where she's going to do the metal clay base. She's going to teach you how to do the ring. And then we're going to fabricate the setting. So that's where I come in. So it's a 2-part class. You'll do her class in one day. You'll get some time in between to refine it. And then the next day you'll come back and we will add the setting to it. So that's the story. Andy is adding the links to the Facebook page, I think it is. And anyway. If you are joining us for the first time, Andy is my producer. He's in my ear. He's telling me what you all are saying and any questions that you have when it comes up, so that I can keep working and moving forward. What else can I tell you? Okay, so today is hot and cold. Forgot to grab my book. So today is Hot and Cold Mondays, where I'm doing projects as because of the book, Hot and Cold. If you haven't gotten it, you can get it from theurbanbeater.com. But the premise is they are all sister projects, one being cold, one being a hot sister, and they look very similar. This one is a little bit of a departure, but I think you'll understand how it all works. So that's the scoop when it comes to hot and cold. So all classes on Monday are of course free, but if you'd like to contribute and so that we can continue doing what we're doing, you can buy the download from theurbanbeater.com. I don't have this one up for today yet, but I will at the end of the day today, or you can just take the contribution button or use the contribution button and contribute. So that's today. What else going on? Okay, so I mentioned everything else on my little list over here. Let's get going. Okay, so today is going to be the Studley ring. It's a really, really simple ring, but just a few things, that makes it a little bit more interesting is we're actually going to rivet this. Of course, you can do this with soldering, but it's a little bit more fun to do it differently. It's just a skill builder. That's all. All of these projects and most everything I do are just little skill builders that you can just add. It's sort of like I always say, when you're coloring, do you want a box of 12 crayons or do you want a box of 140 crayons? You want that big box, and the skills are the same way. Techniques and skills are the same way. You want to build up all your techniques so that when you have an idea, you can execute your idea with one of those techniques that you have under your belt, right? So let's jump in. What do you need for materials today? This is a 10 gauge piece of wire. It is copper, okay? You'll need some tubing. This is a 2.45 piece of tubing, silver. You can use other tubing too. I would probably prefer that you don't use copper because it's a little soft, but you can use brass if you wanted to go with another tone. And then of course, oops, I've lost my wire. Seriously, Q. You'll need some 16 gauge sterling silver wire. I'm preferring that you don't use fine silver here because I want it to be a little bit more stable than that. I've lost my wire. I think I'm going to have to go find some more. But anyway, okay. So all the tools that you need today, because we're making a ring, is a ring sizer, a ring mandrel. You'll want this to be steel because we're going to do, ouch, sorry, things are flying all over the place over here. Okay, you want it to be steel because we're going to be hammering on it. And of course, to shape it, you'll need a leather mallet to go with that. Okay, to hammer the ends down, you're going to need a chasing hammer of some sort. I have my cute little baby frets hammer here, and a bench block is very important. A metal ruler is helpful. You'll need a file to file those ends down. A heavy-duty cutter. If you don't have a heavy-duty cutter, you're going to have to pull out a saw to saw that wire, because it is 10 gauge. Please do not use these little baby Lindstroms. You're going to break the tip because it's way too heavy for the 10 gauge. Okay, I'm going to use a tube cutting plier today so that I can cut my tubing. But of course, if you have a jig to cut that tube, go ahead and use that. The dividers are also helpful today. And a center punch of some sort, because we're going to be drilling a hole. And you'll need a flex shaft or a pin vise to drill the hole today. So I prefer a flex shaft. You're going to need a drill bit, number 54, because we're using 16 gauge wire, okay? It has to be a high-speed drill bit. Speaking of drill bits, let's talk about that for half a second. I was just recently talking to somebody about drill bits, and they're like, oh yeah, I need some drill bits. Can you send me some? And I'm glad I asked questions, because in that discussion, it turns out, you know, she didn't know what she really wanted, because she made an assumption of what that drill bit I was thinking of and what she was thinking of were not the same. So when you're drilling metal, you want it to be a high-speed drill bit, okay? Or HSS is what they use. Is what they refer to those high-speed drill bits. That's for metal. You don't want to use a diamond tip drill bit on metal, because it is a hot mess when you do that. It's not very efficient, and it goes all over the place. So just remember that if you're drilling metal, you want a high-speed drill bit. You don't want to use a drill bit used for wood either. And chances are you're probably not going to get it down to the sizes, a lot of the sizes that we need, by going to the hardware store. So just remember, you want to make sure that it is a nice high-speed drill bit, okay? So that's my scoop there. Now, in developing these classes, some of the things that I always try to do is I'm trying to create diversity, right? I don't want to always do the same thing. I realize I've been doing a lot of pendants lately. So I wanted to create a ring. And when I'm doing the coal projects, my goal is to create a project that does not require a torch. Unfortunately, though, some things you just can't get around, and some things it's just sort of what it is. It's unfortunate, but maybe you can get around it. Maybe you won't be able to. We'll see. But I found that if you are using wire that's this thick, chances are it's going to be too hard for you to handle, meaning you won't be able to bend it with your hands, okay? And even bending it with a mallet is not going to be easy. So you'll need to anneal it. So at some point, again, as much as I'm trying to keep this to be a cold project, you may need to anneal this wire if it is fighting you, okay? So let's make this ring. The story is here, if you're going to start with a ring size. If you don't have a ring size chart, it is on my qfomgray.com page. If you go to more stuff and then you go to my 2 cents, there is a link for charts, and I have like drill bit sizes, wire sizes, and all that stuff, and a ring size chart. On there, what you're going to find is that there's it will tell you what the circumference of every size is. And you know, I forgot to pull that up for myself, so I'm going to need to do that. Give me just a second here. Let's see. Did I not? Nope. Wait. So I'm actually going to the site myself and looking for this chart because I didn't print it. Huh. Okay. So if you look on the ring size chart, okay, what you'll find is that for every size there is the inside diameter and then the inside circumference, okay? So you'll just pick a size, and we're going to go with millimeters today, and we're going to go with a size 7, okay? So size 7 here lists at 54.4 millimeters to be the inside circumference. So with that size, I'm going to add 10 millimeters to the wire. All right, so the question, and I see there's a question here, did I recently send out a newsletter? Yes, I sent it out. What day is today? Today is Monday. I know, we're back to that. I sent it out yesterday. Okay, so by the way, if you are not receiving our newsletter, do send us your email address and I will send that to you and go from there. So here it is 54 millimeters. I'm going to make this 64 millimeters. I'm going to grab my, all right. I'm going to use that flush side. This is not quite flat. Yes. Okay, so here I'm going to go ahead and mark it. Like so. You might want to check your junk boxes if you did not receive the newsletter. Okay, and then I'm just going to trim it. So again, the size I'm going for, what did I say, a 7 is 54 millimeters. Yeah, a 7 is 54 millimeters, and so I'm going to add 10 millimeters to it, making it 64 millimeters. Double check my cut, close enough. Pull out my bench block, and we're going to hammer both ends, okay? So we're going to use a chasing hammer, and you notice I'm splaying the end out. You want to splay that large enough for your drill bit, okay, and for your wire. If it's too small, it's going to have a weak side to it, okay? So you want to make sure, and you want to keep this on the same plane. Do not turn this in any way. You want that nice and flat. And by the way, again, if you have questions, do go ahead and ask questions, and Andy will relay them to me. Okay, so there we are. Nice and flat on both ends. If you don't know how big that needs to be, pull out your drill bit and put it right up there and see, oh, is that enough? Yep, that's plenty. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and take the time to file the ends right now instead of later. It's easier to do it now than later. And I'm just going to take down these corners. All right. I'm just going to squeeze in a little bit there so you can see what's going on. So what do you think? I changed up the lighting over the weekend. I know, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed, and I'm continually changing everything up around here. And I think the lighting is looking good. So notice I'm taking off the corners because I just want to round this out a little bit. Make it nice, okay? Just like so. Okay. And then you'll take out a little bit of sandpaper and just give it a little quick bit of a sanding. That will remove any sharp edges. Like so. Okay. And now we'll just take out our ring mandrel and bend it around the mandrel. So I'm just going to put it right on here. And I'm going to start smaller. I'm heading towards a 7, but I'm going to start at that 6. I'm just going to press it down because, you know, it is copper. And I'm going to bend it over. I'm using my hands because it's easiest for me. If you can't, pull out your mallet and bend it over. Like so. See how it's coming down? Okay. And there I am. So to find the ring chart again, if you go to qfomgray.com, go to more stuff, and then go to my 2 cents. Is that what you mean, Andy? Okay, so I'm going to bend this down. I'm pushing it down towards the size that I want. And notice how it's slowly but surely, you see that? It's crossing over. I'm bypassing it. There we go. Nice. See? I bypassed it. So the paddles are on top of each other. And then if you look down the mandrel, you'll see it's nice and even. This is important. On the inside, it's a nice transition, which is what you're looking for also, okay? If you want that to come down a little bit more, which I do, I'm just gonna bend it just a tiny little bit. It's gotten a little hard. It's got a little work hard, okay? There we go. Okay. Can you see that? All right. So now we're going to center punch right in the middle here. Now you want to make sure wherever it is that you're going, okay, that it's through both sides. So if you look, let's zoom in. If I was to center punch here, it's off of the bottom one. So you want to make sure that wherever you go, it's going to go through both of them. So this is going to need a tiny little bit of an adjustment. And I'm going to bend that down a little bit. Okay. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get that overlap to sit right over itself so that I have enough space on both sides to make that happen. Okay, I'm going to push it just past 7 because there's a little bit of spring in there and it's going to spring back. Yeah, see, much better. That makes me much happier. Okay, so now if I was to, yeah, I'm going to go this one. If I was to mark it right there, you can see it'll go through both, right? All right, so then you'll pull out your center punch and a riveting hammer or your chasing hammer. Either one will work here. And we're gonna center punch it right on that mark. Make sure that these are together and that it's not wonky or off. If it is, just give it a little bit of a hammer just to help it out a little bit. And we're gonna put it right in there, like so. Okay, gonna give it a good tap. Yep, that makes me happy. All right, and then we're gonna set that aside and switch cameras. Give me just 1 second here. Let's see, there we are. Dope. Okay, so here we are. If you don't have a piece of wood to work on, like I do, just put it on your bench pin, okay? And we're gonna drill this hole. Take out your flex shaft. If you don't have a flex shaft, then you can use your pin vise. It's gonna take a little bit longer, obviously, but it still works, okay? Spin it in your lube, cut lube, and put it right on there. And drill straight through. If it gets hot on you, dunk it in some water. Okay, there we are. All right, so now we're going to spread this apart just a little bit, like so. About 6 millimeters to 8 millimeters, depending on how wide you want it. That's really sort of up to you. So you can see how wide we are. Okay. And then you want to pull out your divider or a ruler and measure this, the width for your tube. Wow, it's Robert Lopez. Say hello. Hey Robert, you should join us for Virtually Ever Crafting. Your name has come up a couple times. There's plenty of people who are on here who will second that, right? All right, so I'm gonna keep going. So notice I'm gonna measure the width of that ring, like so. Okay, and for me it's easiest to use a divider because then I don't have to pull out a ruler. I mean, how great is that? And I'm going to transfer this measurement right over to my tube. There it is, okay? So I have a score mark there and I know where I'm going to cut the tubing. I'll put it right into my tube cutting pliers. You can see with the score mark in between the slit. And you can see there's my tube. Now just remember, when you're using a tube cutting plier, do not squeeze too hard because what's going to happen is you're going to make your round tube into a square tube, okay? Lower the chair a little bit more and pull out. Make sure that you brace your tube cutting plier onto your workbench. Do not hold it out here to cut it. So make sure it's on the bench. Take out your saw and let's just start sawing that right down that score mark. Oops. And if it fights you like that, just stroke it up like so and see until it starts releasing. It will. Like so. See? All right. Hold on. Gently pull that out. Ah. Oh. I do that a lot. Okay, so there's my tube, just like so. All right, so let's switch cameras again. All right, Robert, I'm gonna send out a note to you. Applications are coming up soon. Okay. All right, so here I have my ring. I have the holes, I have my tube. If you have any burrs on that tube, easy enough, just pull out some sandpaper. Just do a little bit. Just like so. And I'm just gonna remove all the sharp edges, that's all. If you need to file it because you didn't cut that evenly, just file it down just to make sure that the edges are nice and flat. All right, so it looks like I lost my 16 gauge wire, piece of wire that I did cut and set here. Oh, maybe it's on. Oh, look, I found it. All right, so make sure that this is nice and straight. If it is not straight, go ahead and put it between two bench blocks, like so, and roll it out. Okay, see, so now it's nice and straight. You do want it to be straight, trust me on that. Okay, and now we're going to gently put this in, insert into one side, insert the tube, and then put it through the other side. Again, I recommend that you do not use copper in here. I tried it this morning while I was testing and playing and doing the things that I do. And you know, I found it to be too soft. It just like went all over the place. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and trim one side. Actually, that is nice and trimmed there. Okay, alrighty, so I'm gonna go ahead and move it down like so. And I'm gonna pull out my flush cutters that are sitting on the floor because I knocked it over. All right, we're back. And we're gonna trim this wire, okay? So actually I'm gonna trim it like this so you can see what I'm doing. So you wanna trim it to have approximately 1 millimeter on each side. So I think you can see that. And flush cutters will make your life a lot easier, trust me. Because it reduces the need to file the ends, right? So this is about where we are. This is what you need it to look like. And I realize there's a gap in there, but once you start riveting this, it will go away. Idealistically. Okay. Okay, so here we are. So you can use a chasing hammer or a riveting hammer to do this, and you're gonna want to hammer this and make sure that this is straight up and down, okay? Right on that wire, just like so. It'll splay as you hammer. And you can already see there that it's splaying out, and it probably won't come through. I'm going to flip it over and do the other side now. Okay, and I can also see that it's bent ever so slightly, so I'm going to straighten it out, help myself out. Why wouldn't you? If you see that you didn't hammer straight, then just bend it back before you keep going. Okay, so I'm just going to pull out my pliers and just sort of bend it back just a teeny weeny bit. Make my life a little bit easier, that's all. Just like so. Good. And just flip it back and forth until it's really nice and splayed. And there we are. Pull out some steel wool, polish it up. You can even use a pro polishing pad is really nice here too. Again, you know, just trying to keep it low tech, right? That's what a lot of the book was about. It was about keeping it low tech because not everybody has made their investment, which is okay. And you can get to a great project just by doing it like so. That's how easy it is. Questions? Anybody? Anybody? If you have questions, do shout out and let me know. So, in review, it is simply 10 gauge wire that we cut 10 millimeters longer than the size on the ring chart, and we splayed both ends, filed, sanded, and then we drilled the holes, and then we cut the tube, inserted it, and riveted. That easy. All right, so since that happened so quickly, gee, let's do some, I wanted to share something else, so I'm going to take a minute to share something else with you that I am so excited about. Okay, so if you don't know, I'm on Twitch, and I'm simulcasting today on YouTube, 2 Facebook pages, and on Twitch, okay? And what I do on the weekends is I only, every so often, seems like every other week or so, except lately, I will get on Twitch on the weekend and work on projects for the future. So if you ever want a hint about what's happening with a surprise project, I have done a couple surprise projects on Twitch, but not really, didn't mention, kept it sort of to myself. But in any case, so yesterday, not only did I work on those enamel projects for February, but I also played with a new tool. So I discovered a prong setting jig, okay? It's a jig that will help you make prongs in a very easy, straightforward way. So I had not even touched it. I only opened the box, and yesterday I put it to use. And in a very short amount of time, in about a half an hour's time, I was able to create this prong setting. So you can see it there, okay? It's a little wonky, but we don't care. It was just for fun and to see whether or not it would work. I see a note here that you wish you could have seen it. You know what? The video is out there, okay? And if you want to watch the prong part, go to the very end. But I was testing out this tool because I want to see whether or not we want to carry it for the urban beater. So in any case, so I was able to create this setting. And yes, like I said, it's a bit wonky. One prong is definitely longer than the other, but it had nothing to do with the jig. That had everything to do with me cutting it. Oops. But that's okay. And there it is, done. And, you know, this thing is in here tight. It is a good setting. So, other than being lopsided. So, in any case, I wanted to share that with you. And we do have it on our website. And actually, I forgot to give Andy the link, so he might be helpful there. And we're taking pre-orders for this. Sorry, honey? Oh, Andy just posted the link. In any case, so we're taking pre-orders, and I think we're going to get it in something like June 11th, and we'll start shipping it as soon as we get in. And it's really pretty inexpensive. I think I have it up for $22.50, and January 11th. And it's, you know, I have it up for $22.50, and it comes with like 5 different sizes. So You can make whatever size prong that you want to make. The other thing too is, because it's coming up, you probably won't get it till the end of the month by the time we ship it and USPS gets around to getting it to you. I'll put up a Zoom and I will show you all how to use it. So for people who purchase the jig, we'll Zoom together and I'll show you how to use it, because no, it doesn't come with instructions, and no, I haven't written instructions yet, but in any case, that's my story. So yeah, I'm so excited about this. I'm thrilled. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna start making prongs from scratch instead of buying, a setting. Anyway, so that's my story for now. Metal immersion coming up. Do register for it. Virtual labor crafting applications. If you know anybody who is teaching or would like to teach, the applications are actually due January 15th. Do share it with them or reach out to me and let me know if you're looking for, if there's an instructor that you really want to join us for virtual labor crafting, and I will reach out to them for you. Enameling next month. Oh, Wednesday, what's coming up? So Wednesday is the step-by-step surprise pinned project. It's part 2. Yes, we are going to finish up this project here. Oops, there we go. We're going to finish up that project on Wednesday. We're taking a break on Friday for New Year's, and then we'll be back on Monday with the hot project of the Studley ring. Hopefully next Wednesday, Jeff Hunter will be back to show us some of the capping that sort of didn't happen a couple of weeks ago. I'm sorry, Andy. Oh, request to show the jig. Sorry. Let's see, where did it go? It's actually a really, really simple item here. That's the parts and pieces. So you have, you have all of these pieces here. This is really the jig, right? So you have different sizes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is right. So you have different sizes for your prong setting, and you can even do one with, how many are here? 1, 2, 3, with 8 prongs. Okay, so each one of these are a little bit different, but mostly for round stones. Haven't had enough time to figure out how to do a square or an oval stone with one of these, but I'm pretty sure you can. So I'll work on it, and we'll Zoom on it for everybody who wants to join me, who picks up a jig along the way. So anyway, like I said, it's a pre-order deal. It's available on the website, and we'll get that out to you in a couple of weeks. Okay, so for now, unless there's any other questions, let me know. That's it. Andy says that's it. I say that's it. It is not a pretty day outside. We both woke up and wanted to go back to bed. So I don't know, maybe we'll go back to bed today and enjoy being cozy, or maybe we'll just put in another fire and just cozy up in front of the fire. Well, I hope y'all are cozying up somewhere and not out in the cold, and we're all grateful for that, right? That if you're actually watching this, you're not out in the cold. So let's be thankful. For now, I'm going to say goodbye. I'll see you on Wednesday. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for sharing the post. Really appreciate it. And, your support is always